Hello, this is Your Image, the program that looks at public relations from all dimensions. Last week, we looked at the issue of chief executive and public relations. We looked at how in corporate world the chief executives are playing out their roles and the kind of image which they are also presenting. Were those images becoming favorable to the organizations and helping the organizations to grow? Well, we have discussed much of that last week. This week, we're looking at the public sector. So let me start with you, the senior colleague here. When you look at the public sector of Nigeria, especially the public offices, the highest that we have, starting from the local to the state as well as to the office of the president, do we have their image conveying a kind of communication to us? And how good is this image they've been conveying over the years?
I think it's a mixed grill. If you study the trajectory, of most of these public offices that we have in the country, local government, state, and all, it's a mixed grill because some have projected very good image in terms of service delivery, in terms of respect for people, in terms of following the laws, either of elections or selecting individuals, to recruiting, either in recruitment process or whatever. Some of them have been good, although the number is almost negligible. If you ask Nigerians, generally, our perception of our leaders at the local government and state level, even up to federal level at times, is not very commendable.
Today we're going to look at how do we ensure equity, how do we bring our own political system to conform with the general trend of ensuring that women have not only voice but effective participation in the political affairs of their country. Yeah. I think we should really start on a very familiar note. You have gone through the mill. Basically, what would you say has been the experience like when it comes to the issue of gender involvement in politics?
Well, gender issues, gender inequality is everywhere, not only in public relations. It's everywhere, and I must tell you, it gets me angry, and it forever will continue to get me angry, because I don't see why, when it comes to performance, when it comes to capability, when it comes to competence, you see the aspect of gender. I don't see why I should qualify to practice as a public relation practitioner or a medical doctor or an architect, and when it comes to the field of practice, you see me as a woman. So it's always pits me off. So, but my experience has been that I'm able to push through, because I know that sometimes the gender sensitivity comes in when it comes to dealing with me, So, and in such cases, I don't see myself as a woman. As a practitioner, I don't see myself as a woman. I see myself as a professional, as a career person, as a technocrat, as somebody that has gone to schools to the age of professional training that I should practice. So the issue of gender, I don't have it behind my mind when I need to exhibit my expertise anywhere, even politically.
We are proceeding with the topic, brain drain from Nigeria. How can we curtail? Let me start with you, Dr. Ayodotemu. What would you now consider as solutions to this brain drain issue?
Yes, one of the solutions I would prefer is that the government should stand up to its responsibilities, trying to find a way of keeping those they have trained. Where people are drifting to, you find that government controls everything. So if the government does not have such policy in keeping their professionals or keeping their brains, then little can the private sector do. private sectors cannot do much about such things, except if government has a particular policy on ground to stop this.
What is your take? How much can they also help Nigeria on this drain situation?
Thank you very much. Before I answer that question, I want to put it this way. Remember, in the 50s and 60s, the king of Saudi Arabia, Queen of England, they came to Nigeria to consult in UCH, to see doctors. In the 70s and 80s, foreign footballers were playing in our own local league here.
Yes.
Foreign coaches were coaching our local
Masters.
You understand? Yes. Now, at what point did we miss it as a nation?
No, I should be asking you.
That the tide now changed.
I should be asking you.
That the tide now changed. That nobody wants to stay again. Now, if governments cannot provide all those things, can you give us an environment that if I start a business, that business will survive? But I'm not having an environment. I'm using everything within me.
And public relations. Pastor Fulani, I understand that advertising has a key role to play and public relations has a key role to play. Can you broaden our scope on this?
For obvious reasons, I'd like to start with PR.
Okay.
PR is reputation management.
Okay.
You know, you initiate action to have mutual understanding between an organization and its various publics.
Okay.
And then you use this, you can do this through various means. And where advertising is paid for communication, paid for communication, and it is geared towards the bottom line, to enhance profitability, to enhance purchase of a particular product or service. And so the PR person has, like we say, is of oranges and apples. If you want a good job done, you get a professional PR person to handle your account or to handle your whatever service you want to promote, and then you get value, good value for it. But what we see is that because of some people wants to cause corners, they may now employ quacks to do the job for them. This is not good enough. So PR offers you a lot, in managing your reputation, promoting your services, and then you can always also use various channels to get your communication across. You can use radio, you can use TV, you can use outdoor, you can use the social media, and you can use the newsletter. The newsletter, you can use pamphlets, you can use anything, but it will be targeted communication to a specific group and designed to initiate an action. So that is it. And then you can also use events, shows. You have brand ambassadors. In a company where I once served, we use brand ambassadors, popular brands, popular Nollywood actors, so we make use of them.
To set the ball rolling, let me start from Dawood. We stopped our discussion last week on the image for journalists, particularly the ethical aspect of the profession. And I want to ask Dawood this week, journalists, there are a lot of wranglings among journalists in Nigeria, especially at the upper echelon of the profession. Nigeria Union of Journalists. What is the role of NUJ in bringing sanity to journalism profession in Nigeria?
Thank you so much. NUJ is a union. That is the problem. I can choose not to be a member. So it is not that because I'm a journalist, I must be a member of that union. So that is one of the problems NUJ is having. NUJ does not have that almighty power on journalists. So because it is kind of a free association. That's why when you want to blame NUJ, you must know its predicament. So it is not a regulatory body that government sanction. Yeah, so because of that, it can only back. It can't bite. If it bites, the affected journalist can say you want to pull out. Because you can perform, you can practice as a journalist without being a member.
Okay, let me come back to Mr. Oladushi.
Yeah.
Dawood mentioned something that he has seen many journalists who practice without having certificate to back it up.
Yeah.
We blame them. But what about organizations that employ them?
Well,
They have a role to play. Are they not contributing to this marriage?
Yes. Let me say, one of the journalists that practice without being trained formally in any institution of learning. And I've put in at least 39 years of practice. And I think I'd excelled on the field because I was trained on the job by people, seasoned broadcasters, seasoned journalists. I was trained on the job. And I've also said this several times, that not until when the journalism becomes a profession in this country and it is regulated as a profession. Look at today, you can't say you are a member, I mean you are a NIPR practitioner without being a registered member of NIPR.
Do the professional exam.
Yes. Now today in teaching, they're asking them to go and get certificated by Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria.
Yes. Yes.
And we often miss the opportunity. We've had members, even up to today, we still have members in the National Assembly. They have forgotten about their beginning. They have forgotten about their foundation. We have had one time, in fact, we have had national president of the NUJ as senators in this country. They never taken any move to ensure that this journalism becomes real profession.
Barrister White, I asked how we got here and you gave us the solution. Now, what are the areas that you think we can look into that will ameliorate some of these problems that Nigeria is facing? It's a challenge and we believe that it will go very soon by the grace of God.
Yeah, very well. One basic thing that I think can adopt, though it has been adopted, but it's not well integrated, that is community policing.
Community policing?
Yes.
How?
Because it is everybody must be his or her brother's keeper. It is not about who you are, it's about everybody. Because if you affect A, it affects B. The moment A is the problem, B will start panicking. It shows we have been affected. So it is about a collective responsibility. And we should not see ourselves as being more Nigerians than others. That it is very, very important. When we all know this person is an Hausa man, an Igbo man, they are all Nigerians, we will not be having problem. If you look at this condition of all these things happening, ethnic, religious bigotries are the things that are the sentiments behind all these problems, the basic sentiments. And now, a lot of persons have even said that it is for economic gains. It has been argued very well from issues that have been transpiring. It's for economic gains. When you kidnap someone and you ask people for money, they give you money at times, you don't even be that person alive, you have killed the person, with that person and everything. It is now a way of making money. Even supposed to have not said, they've argued that for government to be negotiating with bandits or kidnappers, it is an economic thing.
It has been alleged that this particular issue has been politicized. And we read so many things from the newspapers, from the media generally. Do you believe this narrative? Well, what's your opinion about this?
Well, I want to be very quick to answer that. You see, we have to be very, very holistic in analyzing all these issues. And if we love our country, we must say the truth about the whole situation. We can't incite anyone against the government, but the reality is this. It is not about the followers alone. The leadership, our leaders must be ready to lead appropriately and accordingly. I can't imagine at this most critical period where even some of us at this lower level are preaching peace, we still find some of the leaders still encouraging what is that you would not ever thought of.
Inciting statements.
It is very, very unfortunate. We cannot go that way.